Hi, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 135, and I'm Lisa, your host, also known as Fiber Nymph on Ravelry, Plurk, and Instagram. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, and yeah, it's been a little over a week since I recorded. I didn't get a chance to record last week. I have been busy dying. I've got one last big wholesale order I need to get out before the end of the month, and so that's pretty much been what I've been doing. But I have a shop update coming up on Friday, so I wanted to make sure I got to record today, plus just check in on everything because there's knitting going on and the knit along going on. We're nearing the end of September, so I wanted to check in on that. So let's get started. First of all, I want to welcome Cheryl from Minnesota and Liz from Wisconsin, who introduced themselves on the 90% Knitting board on the welcome thread. So thank you to both of you for doing that, for introducing yourselves. And welcome to anybody else who's new. I noticed that we're up to 1,893 members in the group. So we're really close to hitting 1,900. And when we do, I'll do a membership milestone drawing for that last group of 100 new members. So maybe in the next couple weeks we'll get to do that, but not today. Okay, knitting. Let's just jump right into that. First off, I have my Vanilla Bean socks that I'm working on out of the Velma colorway from 3U's Twisted in Fiber. This is the finished one. You've seen that one already. I really don't think I got to work too much on, sorry, I've got yarn trying to roll away over here. I don't think I got to work on this too much since you saw it last. I'm trying to think. I think I recorded when? When did I record last? The 10th maybe? So it's been like 2 weeks if that's the case. Yeah, I don't remember. I think the last time I worked on it when I was sitting and waiting for my oil to get changed. I think that's the last I worked. So I'm just a little bit beyond. I'm doing the heel decreases, which I think is where I was the last time. I haven't really gotten that far, but it's okay. It's a good carry around project, you know, that's what I like to do with my socks, so they will get done. But again, that's the 3U's Twisted in Fiber euphoric sock in the Velma colorway, and I use the US 1.5s for that. What has been getting more work, let me see, where is it? Everything's kind of buried right now. Stop rolling. I haven't been working on the sock so much because I've been trying to make headway on my Elm Leaves cuffs, the lacy cuffs, the wristers. And I did get the one finished. So the first one is finished, and I blocked it because I wanted you to be able to see what it looks like. So here is what it looks like blocked. It's basically, I mean, the more I think about these, this is probably like a really impractical thing because the point of it is to wear these like under a long sleeve. So if I had my sleeves down, you know, you'd be wearing it under long sleeves, and it just kind of gives your hand and your wrist a little bit of extra warmth, which is pretty cool. This colorway does not go with this sweater, but anyway, as far as the flounce, like the lacy flounce bit, I'm actually knitting the small size, and the small size called for only doing 2 repeats of the lace, but I did all 3 because I really wanted them to be flouncy and dramatic. And I think really it's okay because you can hike them up just a little bit farther if you want. I actually bound this off a little bit tightly. You work from the lacy part on down, and then you decrease and do the cuff. And I did bind it off a little tighter probably than I should have, but since they're ultimately going to be for Emma and she has thinner arms than I do, I think it'll be okay. Anyway, you can pull them down. It's just not going to be a real practical thing to wear as far as being able to use your hands. So obviously she's not going to be wearing them while she's doing anything like, I don't think, typing, or obviously not cooking. You wouldn't want to wear them then. Anyway, they're cute, and I really like how it turned out. The lace blocked out really well. I'll take it off and show you a little more up close. I love this colorway because so this yarn is the Will and Grace sock from Spartacus Dyes, the I've Been Impaled colorway. I just watched Frozen again yesterday morning. I don't I usually watch DVDs like first thing in the morning because I get up super early. I'm like up by 4:15, 4:30. And then once I, get coffee and breakfast straightened out and everything, I sit for usually like an hour, hour and a half. That's how I start my day. And I knit. I used to do that at night when I was a night person. And over the last couple of years, I've ceased to be a night person. Now I'm an early morning person. And but I need that time, that knitting time, that me time. So I've been doing that early in the morning, and usually I'll watch DVD. I've been on a Gilmore Girls kick lately, but I'm getting to the point in is it season 5, where things start to go downhill with Rory. It's like I don't like that part of the season. So yesterday I was flipping around channels because I pay for cable, and honestly I don't use the TV very much other than to watch DVDs or Netflix or something. But this time of year, once football's on, now hockey's on, and I've got not Showtime. I've got HBO and I've got Stars. Somehow I ended up with Stars. I don't know how. I think it was one time I called and I wanted Comcast to tell me how I could lower my bill. What could I get rid of that I didn't need? And they ended up giving me a cheaper price, but I got more channels, and that's how I ended up with Stars. I've never watched Stars, but I actually got on there because I wanted to see if I could watch Outlander, because I have not started watching that series yet. I've heard people talk about it, and I really want to start watching it, and lo and behold, it is on demand, so I can catch up and watch all of the episodes. But at the time that I was doing that on the actual Stars channel, Frozen was playing yesterday morning, so I watched Frozen and knit. Wow, that was like a really big tangent, other than the fact that this is the I've Been Impaled colorway, which was inspired by Olaf in Frozen. Mary Gale came up with that colorway, and I love it. It's a really, really pretty colorway. So anyway, the first one is finished. I really was not sure that I was going to get the second one finished in September for the knit along, because this is what I'm knitting for the head to toe knit along this month, since it's hands and arms and wrists and stuff. But I did actually get the lace part finished of the second one the other day, and so I'm on the cuff part now. Once you're done with the lace, you go through and you decrease dramatically that next round. And what I ended up doing, since I'm doing this out of fingering weight yarn instead of lace weight, after I did about an inch of the cuff, I went through and I decreased again another 8 stitches. So I'm down to like 40 stitches from the original 90. And it worked out great because it's stretchy enough. So I'm still in that first inch, but then I'll do some more decreases, and I think it'll be good. It will be, yeah, it'll be fun. I always think lace is so cool. Like, this is what it looks like unblocked, all tight, and looks like a hot mess. And then you block it out, and it's all pretty. So anyway, that's been getting a lot of my time because I really wanted to get through that lace part, because the cuff part is easy. And actually, I had a doctor's appointment the other day, and this is what I carried along with me instead of a sock. Sock I would have usually taken, but since I was on the just stockinette, or not stockinette, but ribbing the cuff, that's easy enough to carry around. I didn't actually get a chance to work on it very much. I don't even remember if I got to work on it at all, because the doctor was running on time and I didn't really have to wait. So anyway, that has been taking precedence in my knitting, and that's the Elm Leaves pattern by Ann Hansen, which is very cute. The chart's really easy to follow. Okay. Lastly, the thing that I've been working the most on is my Chandail sweater, because I really, really, really want to get this done. When I watched the football game on, don't roll, I'm sorry, got wayward balls that want to take off. The football game Sunday evening, which I only watched the first half of because it was an evening game. It started at 8:30, and like that gets to be past my bedtime. So I went to bed at halftime. Clearly I should have stayed up, because that's when the Steelers decided to really go gung-ho and win the game the second half. So I missed that part. But my Afghan is usually my football knitting, but excuse me, I so want to get this sweater done that I worked on it instead. So I now have the entire body part done. So it's started at the bottom, it's bottom up, and you work 16.5 inches for the size that I'm doing in the body. I'm doing the 48 in the body, and now that I'm at this point, I'm doing the next size down, which I think is the 44, because I'm like about a 46 bust. But if I do that up through my shoulders, I'm not as wide in my shoulders as would be indicated by the bust size. That's why I'm going down. So what I ended up doing, I got to the next to the last cable repeat here. Let's see, so that would be like about here, right? Yeah, here. I got to about here, and I was at 16 inches, and I needed that extra inch, which honestly is not a big deal because I'm trying to think. I actually may be at the point now where I'm going to do, so I guess it would have been here. I'm sorry. Like right there. It was at 16 inches, and I wanted to do the full 16.5 inches, so I continued and did another repeat. And what I ended up doing, I haven't done the cable cross section, I guess. Why am I'm looking at this and it feels like I should have done it one more time. I'll have to go back and count. At any rate, what I ended up doing on this last repeat of this cable section for the body is I ended up doing decreases, because you have these side markers, and whoops, here it is. You can see it. The side markers on either side, which is where you were doing the waist decreases and increases further down on the body. Well, what I ended up doing was I did a set of, it's a 10 row repeat. The chart is 10 rows. And so every other row I did a set of repeats on the side, and that is giving me the decreases that I need to get down to the stitch count that I need to be at to do the next smaller size. Did that make sense? So let's see, how many did I do? I did 1, 2, 3. I need to be in the middle of this repeat. That might be what it is. Huh. I thought I got through the whole repeat, but I mustn't have, because I've only done 3 and there should be 2 more. So I have 2 more to go. And then I guess I will be done with the body. I thought I was farther along. I guess I just didn't stay up long enough. But that's okay. Anyway, so the body is not quite finished. I'm glad I realized that. So I still have to do that. But I did start yesterday. I started one of, was it yesterday? Yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. I started the next step, which is to do a sleeve, because you do both sleeves. You do the sweater up to the armpits, then you do the sleeves, and then they get added on, and then you're working in the round the rest of the way, or not really in the round because it's a cardigan, but you're working the body, sleeve, back, sleeve, other front part of the body. So anyway, I'm on the cuff. It's not that exciting. I have about 2 inches of ribbing. I need to have 3, and I'm still alternating balls. So anyway, so the details of this is the Chandail sweater pattern by Triona Murphy. Let me find a good picture of the sweater here to show you. Here's the good picture. So that is what it looks like. Cabled front, cables up the sleeves. Nice little scoop neck. I'm using my Fiber Nymph Dye Works Superwash Worsted in the Sunken Treasure Gold colorway. And it's really funny. I noticed the other day that in certain lighting, this almost looks more green than gold. But I think that's kind of neat. It's almost like a tarnished look. I like it. So, anyway, it is coming along quite well. I am pleased. And I am determined I'm going to get this sweater done by the end of October. It's my not a Rhinebeck sweater, but I'd like to get it done, you know, as my whole body object for the head to toe knit along. So there we go. And I'm using US 7 needles, so, which I actually had to order more US 7s. I can't find all of my needles. I know they are probably housed in languishing projects somewhere, or they're stuck in project bags from when I used them before, finished a project, and then never cleaned out the project bag. But I cannot find any of my other metal US 7s. And I started out using Hayahayas on the body. Oh, crud. I just realized what I did. Okay, it's not a big deal. Sorry. See, I only had the one set, and it was a 32-inch set of US 7 Hiya-Hiyas in the body. Well, when I went to start the sleeve, I couldn't find any more. The only pair of US 7s I could find, it was a 24-inch pair set of Knitter's Pride, the wooden ones, which I like those needles, but you get really, really different gauge knitting with a wooden needle versus a metal needle. You wouldn't think necessarily you would, but you do. And I started the cuff on the wooden ones and I knew it was going to be a disaster if I continued it. So what I ended up doing was coming in here and I just found like a random set of needles. I think these are US 5s, and I slipped the whole body of the sweater onto the US 5 just as a holder. Not remembering that I hadn't actually finished the body, since I just only realized that now. So what I need to do, because I then took those Hiya-Hiyas and started with the sleeve on that, or continued, I moved it over to that, and working much, much better. But now whenever I get my needle order, I placed a needle order with the Loopy U because they're the only place handy to me. Well, there is no place local that carries Hiya-Hiyas to me that I've been able to find. And I love the Hiya-Hiya needles. So Loopy is the next best thing because they ship out really fast. So once I get that order, I bought 3 sets. I bought a 24-inch, a 32-inch, and a 40-inch. And I'm going to use the 40-inch for the body once I get the sleeves on it because I'll need the extra length. So I guess when they come in, I can just transfer the sweater back onto US 7 so that it's on the correct size. Anyway, all right. That's all I've been knitting on. That's been enough, especially with how much I've been dyeing. But let's just talk a little bit about the head to toe knit along. Again, we're in September. I have heard from both winners from the August knit along drawings, so thank you. The one prize already went out because it was an email thing, and the other prize I will be shipping out shortly. But I did hear from both winners. So we are now in September. You've got 6 more days, not counting today, to finish up your hands and arms projects. I've been going through them on the website. Please be sure to post your finished picture. And again, remember, if you're doing a pair of something, mitts, both finished mitts or mittens or gloves or whatever have to show up in your picture. And you know, I've been checking. I go to the project page and check to make sure that the dates qualify you to do this, to enter it, because it has to be started on or after September 1st. It has to be finished on or before September 30th. So it's really, really helpful if you have your project page updated with those things. I mean, I can't control anybody fudging their dates or whatever. This is an honor system kind of thing. But please, if possible, put your beginning and your ending dates in for your projects. It makes my job a little bit easier. So anyway, I will have at least 3 prizes for September. And here's why. This moves us into new things. I ordered some stitch markers. It's funny, if you go to the 90% knitting group on Ravelry, the banner ads that are at the bottom, they are for any number of types of yarn related vendors. Sometimes they're other indie dyers, sometimes they're stitch markers, sometimes they're bag makers. I don't put any limit on who can post ads or who can put their ads on the 90% knitting group. People have asked me about that sometimes. They're like, did you know that there's like another yarn dyer advertising on the 90% knitting group? Yes, I do know that, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm all about supporting other indie dyers. I'm not the only indie dyer in the world, you know, so I don't have a problem with that. Now on the Fiber Nymph Dye Works board, I think it's actually against Ravelry advertising policies for other yarn dyers to advertise on that site or on that group, so that doesn't happen. But anyway, long story, there was an ad, I think it was in the 90% knitting group, for such wonderful stuff, which is an Etsy shop by Gwen Kachelmeyer, and the card just looks like this on the front, and this is her card. It's such wonderful stuff. Well, she does stitch markers, and they're the kind of stitch markers that I absolutely adore. They're the no snag, just little metal loop ones. So I ordered 2 sets. The one set is Phoenix themed, and the other one is fruit salad. There we go, fruit salad stitch markers. So let me get them open. They come in these cute little tins that I'm having trouble getting open at the moment. And they're sets of 20. So they come on these little, let me get them over here. They come in the tin, and inside the tin, the stitch markers are on these little metal loops. And each of these sets, I believe, has 5 different colors of stitch markers. And there's 4 of each color. And then each one has the little clear bead at the bottom that keeps it from snagging where the little loop is closed. So I bought the Phoenix set because I really, really love these colors, and I was going to use these for me. And then the fruit salad, let me get that one open. There we go. The fruit salad ones are really bright, kind of tropical colors, like summery tropical colors. And again, there's 20, 4 of each color, 4 of each of the 5 colors. Did I say 6 before? It's 5. So anyway, I was going to keep the Phoenix ones for myself and use the fruit salad ones for a giveaway. Well, once I got them, I realized they're a little bit smaller than the ones I really like. I mean, I can use these and they're fine. These will fit up to a US size 8 needle. You know, you can use them on up to a US 8 according to her website, and I believe that that's fine. I just prefer the bigger ones, the ones that go up. I think they work up to a size 13. So I ended up ordering another set for myself in the Phoenix colorway in the bigger size. So I have both of these sets, and I'm going to use these as giveaways for the September head to toe knit along drawing. And then there will be a third drawing that will be a yarn prize. I have not decided which yarn prize yet, but it will be one of my skeins of yarn. So anyway, those will be prizes for September. And I can't remember, there might actually be, I have to look back. Somebody may have donated a pattern. Or I may be confusing that with this month, because I know there was a donated pattern for the August one. I'll have to look and double check on that. But I'll let you know for sure next time I record, because by the next time I record, it'll be October. The September knit along will close. Again, you have until midnight your time on the 30th to get your finished object finished. You know, you have to be done knitting by then. But then I'll leave the thread open one more day, October 1st, for you to be able to post your finished object pictures. So then it'll close, and then I will do the drawing on that next podcast. Yeah, so October 1st is a week from today. So basically you have a week from now, I'm sorry, to get your picture up. And then we will be in October, and October is feet and legs. And it's also the last month that you can be working on your full body object. So again, all of the guidelines and everything are listed in the Ravelry threads. So just go to the 90% knitting board and you can read about them. And if you have questions, let me know, either on the thread or, you know, PM me, whatever. Alrighty. I do have a book review for you this week. Remember I told you Cooperative Press sent me like a whole slew of books not too long ago. And the one I'm choosing to do today is A Knitter's Gallery of Mitered Squares, 45 Unique Designs in Color, Texture, and Lace. And this is by Jill Bigelow Suttle, and Jane Bigelow. I'm going to assume that those two people are related, but I'm not entirely sure. There actually might be someplace in here that, oh goodness, what did I just do? Don't want to do that. No, no, no. Me and my tablet. I don't use this tablet very often, except when I'm doing this. Oh, Jane and Jill are a mother and daughter team. I should have guessed that, I guess. Although they could have been sisters, but they are a mother and daughter team. So, all right, so here is the cover of the book. Let's see how this shows up. Oh, not too bad. Let's see if I can adjust the brightness. It seems like when I adjusted brightness last time, maybe that helped. That's sound. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't use my tablet enough to be good at this. Okay, can I do it? Okay, let's try this. I lowered the brightness. Oh, there, that's a little bit better. Okay, so I love mitered squares. Mitered squares, like regular garter stitch mitered square, is often my default if I'm making a dishcloth. I'll just do a mitered square because it's super easy to do. Or for if I have to do a quickie Afghan square for someone, I'll often use a mitered squared pattern. Although lately I've been doing that quilt pattern that I'm doing with my hand spun log cabin. Okay. Anyway, so I love the mitered squares. This book is really kind of cool because it takes mitered squares beyond just your basic garter stitch mitered square. The table of contents lists, you have the basics. So it talks about a lot of the basics of mitered squares. And then it talks about color, texture, and lace in mitered squares. I would have never thought to put lace in mitered squares or much of texture. I've never done a two-colored mitered square, although you could probably do that fairly easily with garter stitch. At any rate, and then there's some projects that they have outside of just your basic mitered square for an Afghan or something. And then, of course, a glossary. So anyway, it starts with mitered square basics. So there's your basic, just basic garter stitch mitered square. And then it talks about how to read charts. They have charts in here for all of their special mitered squares, so it gives you information on that. And then it gives you a sample square chart, which the page previous explains how to read that and how to understand it. Basically, when you're doing a mitered square, what you're doing is you're starting out with the whole outside edge, and then you're decreasing on that diagonal, that middle line, until you get down to the point on the other opposite corner. So the chart it looks a little bit different than your average chart because you've got the two segments, but they're decreasing, so you have a lot of empty space in the middle. Then there's a section on how to pick up a square. So this is picking up your mitered squares on the edge. So if you're knitting something like an Afghan, where you would be putting them all together rather than doing all the individual squares, you pick up and knit them as you go along. So rather than having to seam them all together. Then you can also pick up your squares on point, which I have never done. I've not done that, so that's kind of interesting. And then how to create edges on points. So you end up with a different shape, and then when you're doing that, you end up with areas where you need to have triangles. So then it talks about how to convert that chart that you start with to the triangles that you need to fill in on the edges. So how to convert to the left triangle, how to convert to the right triangle, and then how to convert the top triangle. Then there's a section on stacking your squares. And then we move into the different types of squares. So the first one is colored squares. And this is where it gets really pretty interesting. Just different ways that you can do, oh, I did it again. I keep touching the wrong part of this tablet. So I'm not even sure how many of each kind there are. I did not look, but there's just so many varieties, and they're really cool looking. I mean, I would not think to do mitered squares like this. I guess I'm a little more simplistic in my knitting, but some of them are really, really interesting. Let's see, where's the one? Oh, here's the one where the two colors are sort of offset. I think that looks really cool. Let's see, that one's pretty too. This one's interesting because, here, I'll show you. This one, the colors are going diagonally downward. I don't know how well you could see that. Whereas this one, they're going diagonally upward, and then you've got little lace eyelets in between. I know you probably can't see that super well. Let me see if I make it bigger. There. Isn't that neat? So it's just a lot of really nifty ways of doing these squares. So, oh, and then here's a cool one. I like this one. This is color, but it's with flowers, which I guess are little, they're either baubles or French knots. I can't really tell, and I haven't read the pattern enough, but they're cute. I mean, I would never think to do that with a mitered square. So let's see, what else do we have here? Color, color, color. After color, then we get into texture. So there's different ways to do texture in the squares. Okay, that's just a regular garter stitch for the most part. Let me find some of the more interesting textured ones. Here's a textured one, textured with baubles, which you all know how much I love baubles, but it's actually pretty neat. I like this one too, because this is sort of simple. There's two different textures. You've got your garter stitch texture and the stockinette texture in the different quadrants. So that's neat. Let's see. I like this one. This one sort of reminds me of a leaf. And again, it's really just varying the garter stitch and the stockinette. But, you know, it's a nice innovative way to do it. Trying to find the one. See, this is the only bad side of doing this on a tablet as opposed to a paper book. A paper book I can put Post-its in. This I can't. And some of these textures aren't going to show up really well for me to be able to show them to you on here anyway. All right, and after the texture, so we have color, we have texture, and then we have lace. And again, like I would never think to put lace in a mitered square, so I think this is really interesting. This one's pretty. It almost looks like a snowflake, that lace pattern. And then this one, you've got lace and garter stitch in different quadrants. There's another one. So just a lot of different variations on how you can make your mitered squares just be more visually appealing. And see, I could see doing like an entire Afghan using all of these different techniques, like a sampler kind of Afghan. I think that would be really, really cool. But they do have projects in here. Let me get to the project section. The first project is called Frosty Sunrise, and it is a shawl type deal, like a long wrap kind of shawl. Let me get the picture. So that's the one pattern, and it's done out of like grays, different color grays, so that's kind of neat. And then the other three, oh no, I'm sorry, I think there's four more. There's a table runner called the Harvest Celebration Table Runner. But then they have some garments. And again, I wouldn't think of using mitered squares for garments. It's just not something that I would think of, but it looks pretty cool. And the first one is a vest, and it's called Misty Valley. Let me get the picture a little larger here for you to see. I just think it's really pretty, the way they have that flap there with, you know, it's closed with a shawl pin. Really simple design, and so it's just the two front panels of the garter or the mitered squares, and then the rest of it is, actually I'm not sure what the back is. No, the back is just garter as well, or it's not mitered square. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So it's garter stitch. That's the back. So that one's pretty cool. And actually, out of all the garments that they have, this is my favorite one. There's another vest. Let's see, where's the vest? And what is it called? Aurora Night. And then there's a sweater. Well, it's kind of a, well, I guess it's the same one. I'm sorry. It's just a different look, a different color combination. Can I get you to enlarge? There we go. So that's Aurora Night in a different color. So I guess there were only 4 other patterns. So that's it. And then at the end, the author information and glossary for abbreviations, things like that. Cooperative Press is wonderful. They put out some really cool books, and this is just another one, and I like it a lot. I'll definitely be trying some of these mitered squares for future projects. I refuse to say I'm going to start another Afghan project since I've got 2 going now. But like I said, I think it would be really cool to use all these patterns in this book as a sampler Afghan. So it's just one possibility. As always, Cooperative Press was kind enough to offer to give away a free copy of this, so I will start a drawing thread in the group, in the 90% Knitting group, and feel free to enter that if you would like a chance to win a free copy of the Mitered Squares, a Knitter's Gallery of Mitered Squares. If you'd like to, I'll have a question, you put up a post with an answer to that question, and I will do that drawing the next time I record as well. So lots of drawings next time. Okay, let's see. That's all I have for you for the 90% section. 10%, we've definitely moved into fall. I mean, yesterday was the official first day of fall, the 23rd, but the temperatures are definitely fall. We've had a couple of mornings where it's been like 40 degrees. I'm taking Muffin out and my breath is, you can see your breath and everything, which I'm fine with that. I love fall. It makes me happy. And it's still getting warm enough during the day that you don't feel like it's super cold, so it's all right. I did take time, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. It was one day this week. I got my big box out of my top of my closet that has like all my sweaters and everything in it. So I swapped around my clothes, put a bunch of tank tops. But also, you know what? I wear like you can see, I'm in a tank top with a cardigan. This is my, I don't know why I'm hiccuping all of a sudden. This is my uniform, pretty much. I wear this all the time. I'm comfortable in this, and it's layered, and so it's just a nice fit for me. So I do leave my tank tops out all year, but I get a lot of cardigans out. I love these lightweight cardigans. Matter of fact, I went to Old Navy the other day. Same day I had my doctor's appointment. That was Monday, I guess. And I was waiting for a prescription to get filled, so I went to Old Navy in the meantime to kill time, and I came out of there with some new clothes. I love Old Navy. It's one of my go-to places to go shopping because, it's casual clothes. I don't need a lot of dressy clothes. So there and Dress Barn and Target. Those are like the 3 places that I used to love to shop. Target, I've not had a lot of luck with lately. Their clothing has just gotten a little weird for me. Old Navy, actually, the past couple of seasons, I hadn't been having a whole lot of luck, although this fall they've got a lot of really cute things there, so I had some good luck there. And this is one of the I stocked up on a couple more cardigans, the lightweight ones. I mean, like, I'll knit heavyweight cardigans, like worsted weight stuff, but like these really lightweight cotton cardigans, not cotton, they're not cotton, whatever they are, I don't know. I'll buy these because I wear them all the time. And I bought 2, and neither of them were black, so that's a good thing because I've got so many black cardigans and shirts. I love black. I wear black all the time. So, but I got this one. It's kind of like a corally red. I don't know how it's showing up for you. This is not usually a really good color to wear when I'm podcasting because it shows up oddly sometimes, but it's not looking too bad on my screen today. I don't know. And I bought a navy one, so got that. And I bought a new pair of boots. Not at Old Navy. I was at DSW. And another one of my favorite stores. I've been trying to be good about shoe shopping lately because I've got so many shoes. I don't need more shoes, but I love shoe shopping and I love boots. Boots make me so happy. So I got this really awesome pair of boots, which I specifically wanted to buy a pair of boots that I would be able to knit boot toppers for, because that is actually probably going to be what I do for the knit along next month for the October one, the feet and legs one. I'm going to knit boot toppers. And I have boots, but none of them are ones that you would really necessarily wear boot toppers with, or else they're oddly shaped at the top. They're not straight across. So this pair that I bought, I can do boot toppers with. So I'll try to remember. Maybe I can post a picture at the end of my boots because I really like these boots that I got. Tall, and they've got straps. I love strappy boots, decorative straps on boots. I don't know why. Anyway, so got new boots. Yay, it's that season. It's boot season. That makes me happy. What else? I was talking about football and hockey. watched some of the football game this past weekend. Hockey preseason started this week, so we actually listened to the game the other night rather than watch, 'cause other stuff was going on. So the Penguins have lost both of their preseason hockey games so far. That's not a good thing, but it is preseason, so trying not to get too upset about that yet. And even though I do not follow baseball at all, I did see this morning that apparently the Pirates have made it into the playoffs. So yay for the Pirates fans out there. I'm very happy for you. I wish I could get more enthusiastic, but I don't follow baseball. Being a Pirates person, though, living in Pittsburgh, if you know, the Pirates have not done well historically in recent history, so it's only been the past couple of years they've gotten good again. But yeah, baseball's not my thing. It just moves a little too slowly. I don't appreciate the finer qualities of it, I guess. I don't know. All right, well, that's everything I've got for you this week for the can't even talk, for the regular part of the show. I do have shop news. There will be an update on Friday at 11 a.m. So I am going to pause here, and then I will come back and do the shop news section of the show. If you're not going to stick around for that, then I'll say goodbye now. And if you are, I will see you in just a couple minutes. Okay, we're back. This is the shop news section of the show. Let me start out by talking about the sweater lots. Remember I mentioned I was going to put sweater lots in the shop a couple podcasts ago. I haven't had them up yet because I was still trying to figure out the best way to work those. They are up now, okay? And here's how this is going to work. Basically, when you're purchasing a sweater lot, it's either going to be in there's two listings, one for the cozy worsted weight base, one for the Bonafide DK weight base. They're both superwash. You're basically purchasing 4 skeins. That's what's included in the sweater lot listing. Now, most adult size sweaters are probably going to require more than the yardage that the 4 skeins will give you, because that's right around 800 to 900 yards depending on which yarn you buy. So if you need more, we will deal with that after the fact. But this is basically placing your order, getting the order started. And what I will end up doing is I will contact you. Once I receive your order, I will contact you. I will find out the total yardage you need, so I'll know how many skeins I actually need to dye for you. And then if it ends up that you do need more than the 4, I can tell you what the actual total will be. I will bill you the difference at the time it's ready. So before I ship it to you, I'll send you a separate bill, you know, a separate invoice. Well, actually, I won't send you an invoice. I'll put a reserved listing up for you, letting you know that the yarn's ready and here's the balance of what you'll owe for it, and you can pay it at that time. When I contact you, I'll also find out what color you want. If you're ordering a semi-solid color, which for right now, that's what I'm going to keep these sweater lots in, my semi-solid colors. If you want a variegated or tonal or a stripe, you can let me know that. There will be a slight price difference on those as well, but we can work that out. So for now, it's going to be the semi-solid colors, which I have my semi-solid gallery linked in the listing. Presumably, if you're doing a sweater, you probably are going to maybe want all of one color, and that's fine. If perchance you're doing some sort of color work sweater and you need different colors with your sweater lot, I can accommodate that as well. But I will clarify all of that with you after you place the order for the sweater lot. You know, I will get in touch with you immediately. Well, not immediately as soon as you press the button, but as soon as I see the order and I'm at my computer, I will get to you and we will work out all the details, colors, prices, and all of that. As with any of my custom order options, shipping is going to be 4 to 6 weeks after you've placed your order. So just, you know, be aware of that. Otherwise, if you have any questions about the sweater lots, I'm trying, see, this is why it's taken me so long, because there are so many different options and I can only put so much in the listing because the, you know, the listing client through Big Cartel only allows for so many options. But for right now, it is what it is. If you have questions about how it's listed, you let me know, and I will be sure to clarify it, and we'll get everything worked out. So please be patient with me as I get this going in the shop. Okay, Let's see, I added some more things to the 20% the on sale category. So if you're on the shop page and you look on the right hand menu at the bottom or somewhere in that menu, there is one that says on sale. So if you click there, everything listed on that page has been priced down 20%. So I'm always adding a few things here and there, stuff that's been sitting in the shop for a while or whatever. And it's funny because I never used to have much stuff sit in the shop, but since I did these two big markets over the summer, Stuck in Its Zombies Retreat and then SSK, I died so much for both of those shows that I just had way more. I mean, they were both good shows, but I brought home a lot more than I normally would. So that's why there's so much sitting in the shop right now. But I'm just trying to move some things out and to make way for new things, because new things are fun. And on that note, let me tell you what's going to be in the update. The update will be on Friday, September 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll be a morning update. Originally, if you looked on the shop page for, I think, about a day, I had it listed that it was going to be at noon on Friday. I have a scheduling conflict, and I can't do it at noon, so I'm doing it at 11 instead. So here's what's going to be in the shop. In no particular order. Well, actually, a little bit of a particular order. We're going to start with some striping. Actually, it's all striping, but I've got some new stuff to show you. I'm going to show you the new stuff at the end because I'm really excited about it. I want to hold off. But anyway, self-striping, there will be 4 more sets of Nyan Cat. You guys scooped those up really fast in the last update, so I'm really excited to be having them in the shop again. So there will be 4 more Nyan Cat sets in this update. And then some of the other colorways that you guys are always looking for, there will be some Star Trek-y. There will be 1 skein of Star Trek-y on Bounce. There will be 2 Star Trek-ys on Bedazzled. The Bedazzled ones are going to be discounted a little bit because both of the skeins have knots in them. When we were rescanning, we ended up with some issues and had to cut a small segment out. So the yardage really hasn't been compromised all that much. It's still about the same yardage, but I had to tie a knot. So they will be discounted accordingly. There will be 1 skein of Piano Man. And then there will be 3 skeins of Party at the Haunted House, which was one of the new Halloween colorways I did this year. There will be 2 of them on Bounce and 1 of them on Bedazzled. So those will be in the shop. Oh, and then there will be 4 skeins of Byzantine. I love this colorway. It's such a rich looking colorway. There will be 2 of them on Bounce and 2 of them on Bedazzled. So those will be in the shop. In addition to that, there will be several sets of Inversibles. I've had lots. I'm always filling special orders for Inversibles, so the leftovers, because I dye them in sets of 4, so if I only have 1 set that I'm dyeing for a customer, you guys get to choose from the other 3 sets. Usually. Some of these are maybe less than 3, but whatever. You'll see the listing and it'll tell you how many there are available. But of the ones that you'll have to choose from, there is turquoise and a pumpkin, turquoise blue and pumpkin orange. There will be turquoise blue and purple. There will be turquoise blue and earthenware red. Turquoise blue is a really popular Inversibles color. And then there will be a couple cherry and pink. But then there's also going to be 4 more sets of cherry and pink that are going to go up discounted because the cherry in those sets flecked red way more than I would be comfortable with putting them in at regular price. There's always the chance of 1 or 2 little red flecks here and there in any kind of red or pink color. But that was just a little bit more than I was comfortable with. So those will be discounted. As I've told you before, those flecks, once you're knitting them in, you don't really see them usually. And if you do, they add a little bit of depth. It's not usually a big deal. But anyway, so those other pink and cherry ones will be discounted. The remaining ones of the regular sets that didn't have the flecking problems will be regular price. So there are those. Now, I've been on a new colorway kick. I do that kind of as the seasons change. I always want to create new colorways and, for the holidays and things like that. But okay, here's how I go about creating colorways. I look at colors and I think, oh, those would look great together, and I put them together and make colorways. That's usually how I've gone about making colorways. Sometimes I have a specific thing in mind that I want to recreate, like when I did my zinnias and the sunflowers and the sunset colorways. Obviously, those were based on something specific, right? Well, I was thinking about new colorways in the past couple of weeks, and it struck me that, you know, the thing I love about my semi-solids are that they are, you know, one color, but there's so many different shades of that one color. I love that look in the semi-solids, which is why pretty much everything I do is a semi-solid. Your stripes are going to be semi-solid rather than solid. But what I really also like is putting the same color together in multiple shades of that same color. So that's what I've done. I went through and I created 6 new colorways based on that theory. I'm calling it the monochrome stripe set. And there are 6 of them, basically your basic 6 colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I didn't want to call it a rainbow collection because I've done rainbow stuff before, and I'm not necessarily dyeing these specifically to be a rainbow, even though they do create a rainbow. So here's what we've got. I'm going to show you the whole collection together first, if I can get them up there. So here's all the babies, the new ones. What they are, let's see, I'll show you the red first. All right, this is a 3 striping colorway in 3 different shades of red. All right, so you'll be able to see them a little bit better in the picture rather than on here, but you've got 3 different very distinct colors of red that as you knit, they're going to show up in a striping pattern. So I've done that for all 6 of these colors, and let me introduce you to the colorway names. So this is a rally of reds, an order of oranges. I was really going for the alliteration thing. I cannot find any word that starts with Y, the letter Y, that means group or collection. So we've got an enclave of yellows. I love this one. I love yellow. And we've got a gathering of greens, a bevy of blues, and a passel of purples. I love the word passel. I wish this would focus. There we go. So anyway, I am really, really excited about this collection because it is taking color, which I love so much, and instead of putting it together with other colors, it's playing with the same family of colors and putting it together in a way that you've got cohesion because it's the whole color, it's the same color family, yet they're diverse enough variants of that color to make a really cool striping pattern. What I'm planning to do when I put these up in the listing, I will do a mock-up. Sometimes I do that with new colorways. I'm hoping to do that with these so that you can not only see a representation of what it's going to look like when it stripes up, but you'll be able to sort of see the colors, the different colors. Obviously, the colors that I can pick out of my Photoshop program are not going to be the exact colors in the yarn, but they will be a very, very close representation. So you'll be able to get a little glimpse of how these are going to stripe up and how the colors are going to play together. And I am just super excited about these. I have the feeling that some of the color combinations will be a little bit more popular than others because that's usually the way that works out. And that's fine. But I really just wanted to do something different. And this is different than anything that I've really done before on purpose. I mean, I do have other colorways that have some blues in it and have some purples in it, but I've never done one specifically to create a collection like this that represents the spectrum in this way. So I hope you like it as much as I do. I keep sitting here and I just keep looking at these colors, like the whole collection of colors. I just keep looking at it and I want to hug it and pet it and call it George. So anyway, those will all be in the shop, and there will be 2 skeins of each of these color combinations. So you can be looking for those. The only other thing that may be up in the shop, if I have time to dye it between now and Friday, is I wanted to do some fiber in some of the newer colorways that I've done, not these. Although I will probably do these in fiber at some point. But I wanted to do like the zinnias and the sunflower colorways and maybe a couple of the Halloween colorways in fiber. I haven't gotten a chance to do that. I'm hoping maybe later today to be able to do that. And if not, it'll be in the next update. So just look and see. I am going to be working on putting all of this stuff up in preview mode today and tomorrow. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow, well, by the end of tomorrow, everything will definitely be up, but hopefully sooner than that. So you can check it out at the shop page and see what is going to be offered this week. So, alrighty, again, update Friday, September 26th at 11 a.m. That's everything I've got for you this week. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to PM me on Ravelry or email me, fibernymph@comcast.net, and I will be happy to answer your questions. So, that's it. Take care. Have a good rest of your week. Be sure to be posting your finished objects for the September head to toe knit along. And I will see you next time I record. Take care. Bye-bye.